In this video, I'm going to give you an insight into the cars that you'll be driving as a cop or racer in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Every car in Hot Pursuit is there for a reason, whether it's the top speed of the Bugatti Veyron, the limited numbers of the Pagani Zonda Cinque, or the aggressive styling of the Lamborghini Reventon. We also included a few cars because of their unique iconic status, such as the Ford Crown Victoria, probably the most famous police car in the world, or the McLaren F1, which was the fastest production car for over 10 years. I have so many favourite cars in this game. If I had to pick one, it would probably be the Porsche 918 Spider, which was unveiled this year at the Geneva Motor Show. Within 4 days of it being shown to the press, we had CAD from Porsche, and we managed to get it in-game, ready to be set up. Because we're working with such amazing real cars, we wanted to remain as authentic as possible. So as well as offering all of the colours these models come in, and having animated parts such as wings, air vents and air brakes, we modified our existing handling system to make use of real data from the manufacturers. Torque curves, gear ratios, mass and aerodynamic coefficients, these are all entered to give us the correct acceleration times and top speeds. Using real data in this way has also allowed us to implement slipstreaming for the first time, which is the ability to accelerate faster by reducing drag when you're driving closely behind another car. Anyone familiar with a Criterion driving game will recognise the high-speed drifting and the nitrous game mechanic, both of which are easy and intuitive to use, but when mastered will allow you to reach even faster times. Drift can now be triggered in 3 different ways: by blipping the throttle, by holding the brake, or tapping the e-brake. Selecting the most appropriate method is down to player choice as much as how tight the bend is in the car you're driving. To drift well, you're going to need to anticipate the bend coming up and hold as shallow a line as possible. We have a new nitrous system in Hot Pursuit with different types for cops and racers. Nitrous is very important for Hot Pursuit to ensure that the race chase gameplay is as fun and as balanced as possible. So the first stage of balancing the cars in Hot Pursuit was to break them down into 5 separate tiers. It wouldn't have been very much fun or realistic to have a player driving a Crown Victoria racing and busting another player in a Bugatti Veyron. The second stage of balancing was to tune the performance of the cop cars so they could catch the fastest race car in their tier. In a drag race without nitrous, the cop car will always win. The third and final stage of balancing was to give the ability for the racers to outrun the cops. By saving enough nitrous and using it in a large enough burst, they can exceed the manufacturer's top speed and leave the cops in their wake. Racer nitrous is different per car and allows us to balance the performance differences between cars in the same tier. For example, to allow the McLaren F1 to compete with the Bugatti Veyron, the F1's nitrous is much more powerful. Cop nitrous is very different from racer nitrous in that it is much more powerful, but it's used much more quickly. The best way to use it is as a weapon, so timing your hits with a quick nitrous burst will allow you to cause much more damage. There's nothing more satisfying than busting a racer with a well-timed nitrous burst. I'm very proud of the cars in Hot Pursuit. They look and sound amazing, and our unique way of balancing the cars means that unlike other driving games, players can choose their favourite car and remain competitive. There's nothing more rewarding for me than seeing a grid of 8 different supercars at the start of a race and not knowing who's going to win.